Good evening, service crew. Fighting pilot extraordinaire Ace Windfall. Ready for takeoff. Happy Monday, everyone. Sorry I'm really late. I did the thing again where it was 7:59, and then I was like, Ace, you don't have tea. So I went to go make tea. Thank you, Aeon. What's the spare parts? Service crew, hold the spare parts for me today. I can't do it when I'm standing up right now. What's up, Boba? What's up, Aeon? What's up, Dolly? Happy Monday, everyone. Welcome on in. I rushed back so fast after making the tea, so I was like, oh no, I'm late, that I still have my, you can't see it, it's invisible. It's like the Emperor's new towel. But I have my classic dish towel over my shoulder still. Which I still think, this is one of the truest statements I've ever said. But having the little, the dish towel, the dish rag over your shoulder, I think is one of the most powerful feelings in the world, at least for me. So that's also part of the reason why. Because I rushed back here with my hot tea that I cannot sip right now. Actually, if I sip that, it will burn. But I rushed back here and I realized like I had to put this back. And I was like, yeah, feels nice. Hope you guys are doing well, though. Figured we do a little just chatting. Throw a little bit in there. Because I want to talk about, as well as many other things. The big one, though, is I've been watching Apothecary Diaries lately. And so I want to talk about that. I am now, I just finished episode 14, a little bit before stream, which means I am now in core number 2. Which I think is actually a lot more interesting. I'm excited for this. I think it picked up a lot as well over the course of the first core. Like the basic premise is really interesting, and then it sold me, and then the way that it has, what's the word for it? The way it's developed itself has really caught me, and I'm really happy about that. It's such a good show, Ion. I've seen that around the internet a lot because the original first season, which I'm currently working through right now, that came out in 2023, and so I remember like hearing bits and pieces about that. But I know season 2 had just come out, and so I feel like I saw even more in part because of season 2. And I know that a few people here have also watched that and have praised it. So I decided to finally go with that, go watch it, and I'm glad I did. Does a really good job with pacing the world in. Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing was, at first I was like, there's a lot going on here, but it's not fully capturing me. There's just like something that's like missing, but it keeps feeding in that like a warm blanket enveloping you. You don't realize it, but it then has caught you fully. Even though, in full honesty, I don't understand Chinese politics at all. That's probably the biggest thing that's like still tripping me up in some cases whenever they're talking about like I don't know what an Empress Dowager is. I think I understand through context clues. But like, okay, so obviously I feel like a lot of you have watched this. I still need to rewatch it. I don't remember much about it, just that I really liked it. Okay, good. So I don't know if anyone has not seen this, and I feel like this is not a big spoiler because like as soon as the characters are introduced, you're like, oh, I understand what this is. But like this is like minor spoilers. This entire episode is gonna be minor spoilers. This entire stream is gonna be minor spoilers. So heads up on that. But like, what is it? Is Jinshi-sama not like another emperor? Like, is he not like a prince? Like, I don't understand that one. The Dowager is basically just the mother of the current emperor, which, yes, I understand that, but then, see, that's my question then, Aeon. Would Jinshi-sama, well, I don't know actually, because maybe they don't know. I guess the palace doesn't know, but like, is the okay, so to explain, in episode 10-11, I want to say, in episodes like 10-11, like near the end of the first core, of course, for those unfamiliar with the term, is the first cores are about 12 episodes. They're about like a single season of anime. Apothecary Diaries is a 2-core show, so there's 12 episodes, and then episodes 13 through 24 are the second core of it. And they do a really good job at episode 12, which I clocked that immediately, of it being like the end of the core and also a Christmas episode, because at the end it started snowing and there was a nice little montage, and I was like, I bet this aired around Christmas, and it aired Christmas Eve, and I was really proud because I looked that up immediately when immediately after it happened. I pulled up my phone. I was like, hold on, I need to double check something. December 24th. Because I immediately was like, okay, she's out there drinking sake and it's snowing and beautiful music's playing. I know what's happening. That's the thing, is the plot it will continue to thicken, and I'm interested in it, but like, I guess they don't know, question mark? But like who, I guess I'm gonna find out, but like who knows? Who, like, in the story, I don't know who knows, and I'm interested and confused about this right now, but like, is Jinshi not just like the prince? Like, that's really weird. That's, again, he was swapped at birth. That was another thing they talked about, is that, so the idea is, okay, so to go back originally, wait, okay, hold on, I need to think about this. I need to put my thoughts in order, because there's like a double and a triple switch going on. I might need to open a paint for this to fully explain this. My favorite. Because I think I need to work this out, and I need to work this out through the help of an application, as usual. So let's do this, and then we do this. Okay. So what Jinshi is doing, the weird things he's doing, it's a multi-layered situation, because like you have the Emperor, right? You have the Emperor. Dang it. I forgot that you can't hit escape to like close things here. You have the Emperor. Can we zoom in on this? That works, sure. You have the Emperor, right? He's the big bad dude. He's the guy. And then he was born from the Empress's Dowager. Emperor or Dowager, right? That's his mom, because the Emperor Dowager? He's the Dowager, right? Because the Dowager is like the mother of the Emperor. So you have the Dowager and the former Emperor, the late Emperor. So you have these two, and through their doing, the Emperor is born, right? But my question is, you also over here have Jinshi-sama. Is the implication then that he is not also from this, but he's from another man? Question mark. Because I didn't think they could do that. Because presumably the Dowager used to be a concubine, right? How does this work? How do they have so many like concubines and women? I don't understand the politics here. There are four concubines in the current Emperor's palace. You have Gyokyo-sama. You have I think it's that Gyokuyo, something like that. Red. You have Lihao, the blue one. You have the goat, who is now gone. You had Aodo, the goat, my favorite, who has now been replaced by someone whose name I don't know yet, because she showed up for the sex ed talk, and then she didn't say anything. She was just like there, and then she left. And then you have the virtuous. You got the girl. I don't know what her name was. I think it starts with an L as well. It's like Lishua or something like that. So you have these four, and they're all from the Empress, except the girl was also part of. So you have these ones. They're all concubines of the current Emperor, except for the fact that the girl was also a concubine of the former Emperor, and Aodo is also yes. Okay, so turn on transparent selection. I'm gonna need that. So we don't know where Jinshi-sama comes in. We know he's the son of the Dowager, allegedly, right? Even though we know for a fact it's not. But like, allegedly it's this. We're gonna use the dotted line for this part. Dot. We shouldn't use it there though. I'm gonna, because that's the thing, is I don't know. Will they like where did he come from? Because if he did come from the Emperor, wouldn't he have like the same prowess and he wouldn't have to LARP as a eunuch, because I'm assuming that he's not actually a eunuch. Don't know that one for a fact. That's a different story altogether. But right now we're gonna assume it's that. Aodo, as we know from the story, was a concubine of the current emperor, is like the oldest concubine there. And then the late emperor had the girl as a concubine, and then she later became also a concubine of the current emperor, because there's the episode where it's like, oh, you think Aodo, the old one, was from the late emperor and the girl was from the current emperor, but actually it's switched. And so the girl became a stepmother at an extremely young age of like 9 or something like that. Yo, what's up, Soltari? Happy Monday, welcome in. Yes, we're doing Chinese hereditary detective work. We're trying to figure out the royal procession of the Apothecary Diaries Emperor right now, because I don't understand where the head concubine, not concubine, head eunuch Jinshi-sama comes in here. I don't get it. It'd be a massive scandal if one of the consorts had a child with someone that's not the emperor. I know that much. That's what I would imagine, right? So if Jinshi-sama is the son, like, because isn't it? Hold on. I don't want to look up spoilers, because I don't want to look up information, because there will almost certainly be spoilers in there. But wasn't he described in like the first episode as like he's the beautiful eunuch that everyone loves, and he's in that role because he's the son of the dowager? But if that was the case, if he's the son of the dowager, why is he not like the baby emperor? The prince or whatever it'd be. I don't know things. Did they just do that back in the day where it was like, okay, if you're not the emperor, you're a eunuch? If so, what happens when this emperor dies? That feels short-sighted. But you got that. You got Gyokyo and Li Hao, which I like a lot. Gyokyo, of course, is the GOAT. Li Hao, her ladies in waiting are a bit of jerks. I think she was a little bit of a jerk at the very beginning, because she did the whole, she saw Mao Mao's flower and she just like tossed it aside and she didn't really care. I don't even know if she even read it right, but she just saw the flower and didn't care. And then her ladies in waiting kind of like did a bad on her. But then you saw her as a character, like you start to like her as a character because Mao Mao hangs out with her and has to nurse her back to health effectively. And also Mao Mao just lays it on one of the ladies in waiting in a power move, which I'm gonna be honest, that I think was the big thing that kind of sold me on the show 100%, was like, I was like, okay, it's like detective show. Mao Mao's in like, I felt bad for Mao Mao a lot of the time, because I was like, she's just getting like, she wants to be like, I don't want to be a part of this. I want to be like left alone to do my things. I don't really want to get dragged into this. But like when push came to shove, Mao Mao knew what she was about, and I was so happy for that. That was a fantastic moment in the show where Mao Mao turned on. I was so there for that part. But then because of that, and because she was able to nurse back to health, and because of the teachings that Mao Mao gave Li Hao as well, Li Hao as a character, I like her now a little bit. She's pretty solid. Obviously, Gyokyo is the go, and honestly, Aodo, you barely get to know her in comparison to the other three, but she's the goat of goats. Because she is actually Jinshi-sama's mom, which and then we know for a fact that this connection is here. Wait, hold on. Wait. I'm so wait. So. wait, I just realized how. See, this is why it's even more confusing. So, he's allegedly the dowager's son with another man. Oh, is that why? Wait a minute. Maybe that's why. I think I understand through what Dolly said. Also, I think I have some friends watching this. Apparently, it's good. It's very good, Soltari. I would recommend. There are 2 seasons out right now. I'm currently just started the second core of the first season. Get ready to learn Chinese, though, buddy, because I am so lost on some parts of it. Not the language. Obviously, it's a Japanese anime. It's in Japanese, which was good because the subtitles I'm watching definitely had one line that was just straight up not translated. I understood what it was because I knew Japanese, but I was like, I hope someone got fired from that blunder. Also, I think technically, any boy children of the consorts wouldn't have any claim to the throne if any of the children of the empresses were boys. That's a good point. Wait a minute. So the dowager isn't the... No, hold on. So how, wait, when does a consort become an empress then is my question. That's what I'm confused about as well now. Why is she called the Dowager, not the, well, because the reason she's called the Dowager now and not the Empress is because the late Emperor is dead. He's the late Emperor. So presumably there can't be an Empress unless there's an Emperor. It's like a Queen-King situation where unfortunately, where like the King has all the power. The Emperor has the power. So if the Emperor is dead, she doesn't become the Empress. She just becomes the Dowager, right? That tracks. Okay, that's why there's no Empress right now. And I guess there's not going to be an Empress until one of the concubines gives the Emperor a male heir that like lives, right? Because currently, unfortunately, Li Hao did have a male heir, but he passed away due to the face powder poisoning at the very beginning of the show. It was up, Harmon. Happy Monday, welcome in. We're chatting and we're uncovering the secrets of Chinese hereditary. Yes. That one isn't a bad situation. She's spectacularly lucky that people around her indulge her and recognize her talents. That's true. She's trying to make the most out of a bad situation, and then the people around her keep elevating her, and she's partially like, I don't want to draw attention to myself. Get me out of here. I did not sign up for this. I just want to like do my time and get out of here. And then she does, sort of, and then she gets fired in episode 11. I want to say in episode 11, maybe end of episode 10. I think episode 11, she gets fired because of because the people that sold her into indentured servitude at the palace, who were not actually her family, the thugs that were merchants that sold her into indentured servitude, had connections to those lady-in-waiting, Ling Feng, I think was her name? Because they had connections to her, Mao Mao was pegged as having connections to her, and so she was fired, but she didn't really want to be fired, and also Jinji didn't want to fire her, but Jinji was going through his little like phase at the moment, so he had to fire her. But then he realized his mistake, and so he had to go to the pleasure district to go buy out her contract. And then now in core 2, she's working for Jinshi as like a servant. As like a secretary, as a lady in waiting for him, kind of, but not really lady in waiting. And she's supposed to take like the court lady exam, so she failed those. That's as far as I am for that part. But Mamo's in some things right now. It's more speculation though. I know that sort of how it works in more Western royalty. That's the thing, yeah. Like how does the, I guess is the entire idea with it that the Emperor is just gonna be like, I need a boy heir, and so he's just like out here just going to each one of these every single night trying to get a boy heir, and then if one of them sticks, then it's like, okay, you're out, you are now the Empress, or maybe not out, but you're now the Empress, and then you guys are like, you can stick around, you're kind of cool, and they're just gonna like be chilling basically. I don't know. They take Chinese for a while. When we switched from Pinyin to Kanji, I gave up. Is Pinyin basically Romaji but for Chinese? AK, is Pinyin just like Chinese spelt out phonetically? That sounds right. It's been a while since I've done any like Chinese stuff, but okay, yeah. Yeah, that is the biggest thing. Even with like Japanese, like I'm because I've been doing it for like 10-ish years at this point, honestly. Like, I'm better at it, right? But kanji is still obviously my weakest part by far with Japanese. Luckily, most of my stuff is like through the computer, and so we have tools for that. I used to do some detective stuff after the Duck Detective Gaming. Aeon, I feel like you should know better than this. I've been doing detective stuff forever. Do I have it on here? I don't have it on here. Hold on. I should be able to pull it in real quick. Add source, group, add existing 999. There we go. I've been doing detective stuff forever. It's my favorite type of LARPing to do, is LARPing as a detective. Shoutouts to 999. I cannot wait to play Zero Time Dilemma sometime later this year. Because, like, look at... If there's one thing that I love in my stories is mysteries and speculation. I've said it before, I'll say it again. One of my favorite things is the human imagination and the human mind, and how if you give a human something, right? Like a Rorschach test, right? You give them a, hold on, we actually need to close this up. There we go. You give them a Rorschach test, and you tell the human mind, like, what do you see here? And they'll tell you what they see, right? Like, it's the most amazing thing. And so that's what I do with stories, right? With, like, mysteries. It's like, they give me a story, like in Arknights. That's a thing we do in Arknights, or in any of, like in Duck Detective, or any game whatsoever. My entire favorite part of it is trying to find out what is the story. Why are they doing this? For instance, in Blue Prince, which we're currently playing, the entire story is about you are the nephew of your grunkle Herbert S. Sinclair, I believe. It's either that or it's, yeah, Herbert S. Sinclair, H.S. Sinclair. And you gotta solve his mystery. You have to solve his 46-room puzzle, which you do. But then there's more to it. With, like, your mother being an insurgent and this, like, upheaval and royal, like, revolution and stuff. And it's like, the part of my brain that wants to fill in these gaps is going overtime, just being like, what does this mean? What does this mean? And you're, like, painting these pictures, right? Like, you'll see, like, the start of something, and you'll be like, okay, what if we add this here? What if we add this here? What if we do, like, one of these bad boys? And then, like, you'll actually get a new piece of information filled in. You're like, okay, this changes things. What if we add, like, this here and this here and this here and this here and this here? And then suddenly you have a dog. I don't know. This is a bad example. I can't draw with a mouse, and I did not think about actually setting this bit up before, but, like, it's like that. Absolutely love that. And so that's what this show is kind of doing to me, is it's putting the tools there for the greater theme, and I'm like, what does this mean? What are the implications of this? What's going on? The Emperor picks the one he likes best. It doesn't matter if she gives him boy heir by much. Oh, see, they didn't explain that part. Empress is sort of a political title. If the Empress dies, the Emperor just promotes a concubine consort to an Empress. Concubines also aren't married to the Emperor. Oh. Way to play Ace Attorney. I mean, your name is right there. Eventually. I don't know. I don't own it. I own 999 and Zero Time Dilemma, so I'm doing those ones first. We'll do Ace Attorney later. That's a next year thing. One detective game a year is my absolutely not true thing. Clearly, because we've played multiple detective games this year, but you know damn well I love playing Ace Attorney. I just haven't done it yet. As far as you haven't dove into any Rishki 07. I don't even know who that is. Hold on. Is that detective-y? Rishki 07. Pen name, author who's writing. Oh, Higurashi! Yeah, never. I have never done any Higurashi stuff. I don't know anything about it, honestly. I literally have only seen, like, the characters. I know literally nothing about it, which actually would theoretically be good because I don't know anything about it. I just know the characters, and I know it has a lot of girls that just look like this, where pro art skills coming in handy real quick. They all look like this, where they're like, they have green hair and then they have, like, blood on their face, and they're like holding a knife. This is a lore accurate Higurashi. I know this just looks like Kyle from South Park the way I drew this hair, but still. Like, that's all I know, is that there's a lot of, like, yandere looking characters. I didn't know it was super detective-y. The one, like, out of any visual novel, like, visual novel I would do is the, which I don't know if this is Rishki 07 or not. What's the one with, Beatrix and the dude that's like, I hate witches? I would do that one, because that one looks sick. I think that might be by him, or, like, the art is similar. That is Umineko? Wait, hold on. Are Umineko and Higurashi in the same, like, universe? Or are they just, like, similar? Oh, yeah, Umineko, yes, okay, easily. Yes, because, yes, Battler, that's his name. His name is Battler. Yo, yes, I would do that one in a heartbeat if I was to do any of those. Higurashi, no idea what that's about, but Umineko, yes. Magic's not real, witches aren't real. And then, like, I'm pretty sure, like, Beatrix is, like, a legit witch. Again, don't actually know. Never played it. Don't know anything about it outside of the very, very surface level memes, but, like, woo. Battler looks very impassioned about not believing in magic, and I'm kind of about that. I like it when someone is very impassioned about a thing, whether or not they're right. And then we're gonna find out if he is right or not. You just gotta play the game. Small correction on what I said, though. Concubines aren't legally married to the emperor. Oh, I read that as that. Did I read it? Did I say it out loud as something else? Concubines also aren't married to the emperor. Legally married to the emperor. Okay. Like, yeah, there is the like implicit marriage going on, right? Because they're his concubines. But no, this show is really good, even though I don't understand what's going on. But yeah, going back to my original part, like, maybe I understand it now. So obviously, in real life, Junshi-sama is the son of the late Emperor Naoto. However, he was swapped at birth with the Dowager's son. Presumably, though, the late Emperor already had this Emperor, so having another son doesn't really matter to him. When maybe if the Dowager did have a son from another man, then maybe that's why Jinshi-sama is still alive, but he's like, hey, you're technically related to me, kind of, sort of, in a way. Like, I like my Dowager, I don't want to kill her son. We're gonna eunuch you and we're gonna put you in the palace. Allegedly, right? Even though in real life, it actually is his son. But maybe the late Emperor knew that. Maybe they knew they got switched at birth. I don't know. Aodo, I think, also knows at this point they got switched at birth. Don't know about that one either. All I know is that her lady in waiting, I guess, didn't know they were switched at birth, because which, by the way, actually, that was a really messed up plot line, and I actually kind of teared up at that, because I legitimately felt bad, because, like, it was such a, like, they're living in like medieval China. They like, I don't think everyone knew that, and like, you definitely don't have like the good doctors or like like the internet to like go to and turn to, but like the reason that Aodo's original son died is because Aodo, while like doing consort duties and while like having to be like a lady in waiting, all this stuff, gave a lot of the care of her, allegedly her son, which was actually the Dowager and the other man's son, to her lady in waiting, whose name I'm pretty sure is Feng Lang. I've been saying that all stream, and so I hope that's right. But she gave it to Feng Lang and it's like, you take care of this. This is my beautiful son, right? They're like taking care of it together, but obviously the lady in waiting is like doting on it like it was, you know, because she was indebted to Aodo, and so she's like treating it with all this loving care, which includes feeding the newborn infant honey, which, as we know, especially after watching that episode, in case you didn't, you shouldn't feed infants honey. It's not good for them. It's good for me. It's good for like grown adults, but like it ain't good for children. And so because of that, that is the reason that Aodo's not real son but fake son ended up passing, and I felt really bad for that, because it seemed like Feng Lang, at least at the time, was like she didn't know, and she felt rightly like sad about it. And then you have like the scene of Aodo talking to her ladies in waiting, to her like her servants, and being like, this is not your fault, you know, infant mortality is the thing, until they turn 7 they could just die from anything. But she has like this dead look on her face, and then it cuts to like her later on, she's like in her room closed off, and she's crying, and you see the lady in waiting like on the other side of the door, just like, and she's just eaten up, and like at that point I was just like really like sad. But then when it comes to this, when you get then the girl, Lishu, I don't remember what her name is, I should probably look that up. But when she comes into the picture, which again, that was the other thing as well, where it's like, Aodo has lost a son, she is basically an orphan who is the concubine to the late emperor, and she's like 9, and so you have a 9-year-old girl, and you have a woman in her 30s who has lost a son, and they start to connect, and it's like, oh, they can find the person that they need. They can find their fulfillment here. But then Aodo's lady in waiting is like, hold on, this girl knows that you can't feed honey to a baby, because she was fed honey as a baby and she got sick from it. She almost died from it. And if Aodo, my concubine, okay, we have to add like Feng Lang as lady in waiting. Lady in waiting. Because I'm going to keep talking about her and I can't like gesticulate to nothing. We gotta get Gyokyo and Li Hao out of here for right now. You got Fingling, the lady in waiting of Aldo, which will demonstrate by a wiggly line. like she was poisoned as a girl from honey, not like poison, but like she got sick from honey as a child, and she's now adverse to honey because like that almost killed her. Aldo has lost a son, and they're hanging out together, which is adorable. It's sweet, but then like the girl talks to Fingling about this, and Fingling is like, wait, she knows that you're not supposed to feed honey to its children. If she talks to Aldo about that, then Aldo will know that I inadvertently killed her son by feeding him honey, and then Aldo will hate me, which Fengling doesn't want. So Fingling drives a wall between the girl and Aldo, and that's so messed up. That's so, like, she made a mistake, and it's a horrible, terrible, tragic mistake, but then, like, in trying to protect herself, she's done so much bad and ruined this up. And, like, I feel bad for this girl, because none of her ladies in waiting care about her. They're all bullying her. Except for the taster, who Mao Mao, like, put some sense into, and I think the taster is now, like, a little bit sympathetic and scared as well. So she's kind of cool, I guess, but, like, it's just, like, the political, like, the inner palace politics go crazy. And then Fingling dies, because then it was, because, which, by the way, this is all true, because Fingling inadvertently killed Aldo's son, she put this wall up between the girl and Aldo, because she doesn't want the girl to tell Aldo that, like, you can't feed honey to anything, because that could kill it, it's very bad for it. So she puts up this wall between it, and because she knows that, at a separate point, in order to keep putting this wall up and keep, like, driving a wedge between them, Fangling attempts to poison and kill the girl by just straight up poisoning her soup at the garden party, right? And because of that, it's such a... So Fangling tries to poison the girl, right? That happens. But then the girl's ladies in waiting... girls LIWs. That works? That works. But however, the girls ladies in waiting, for a different reason, just because she's young as an empress concubine, the girls ladies in waiting kind of hate her. So they're all very like rude and mean, and like they kind of just don't like her. So Fangling's out here trying to poison the girl, but the girls ladies in waiting are like, we don't like our concubine. We think she's like too good for us, or we think we just don't like her, right? We just hate her. Because of that, they switched the bowl with the poison food from Fengling with Gyokyo's food, because they had different dishes, because Gyokyo doesn't mind eating fish. She's not allergic to it, but the girl was allergic to fish, but they didn't know that she was allergic. They just thought she was a picky eater. And so they swapped the food. Gyokyo gets the wrong food, which includes the poison, and the girl gets food that she just kind of doesn't like, but is also allergic to. However, Mao Mao, the goat Mao Mao, which she gets green, of course. Dang it. Mao Mao over here is able to like intercept the poison because she's a taster. So even though you have this poison attempt that gets swapped to here, Mao Mao comes in and like is like, hold on, this soup is poison, and then she goes and throws up. Like, it's an insane plot of like, okay, they weren't trying to poison Gyokyo, they were trying to poison the girl. Why were they trying to poison the girl? Well, it was Fingling. Why was Fingling trying to poison the girl? Because she had killed Aldo's son with honey on accident 17 years ago. Like, that is such an insane buildup and an insane mystery that I didn't expect to happen. When I first started, I wasn't thinking this was gonna have like big arcs like this. Like, cause I didn't know what I was expecting going in. I knew it was gonna be like Sherlock Holmes, but in medieval Chinese inner palace, right? That's the extent of my knowledge. And the first episode is kind of like that, where it's like, oh, you know, Gyokyo, Li Hao, and their daughter and son respectively, but mostly the daughter and the son, are feeling they're feeling sick. Why are they sick? Is it because of a curse? And Mao Mao, who is an apothecary, is like, oh, they're all wearing like this face powder, and that's poisoning them. And so she sends them both notes, which Li Hao doesn't read, and her ladies in waiting don't read, but Gyokyo reads, and her ladies in waiting read, and so it's able to save Gyokyo and her daughter's life. However, Li Hao's son unfortunately passes away. That's kind of your setup. Mao Mao then gets taken in by Gyokyo as a lady in waiting, and you think like, oh, from there on it seems like it's mostly gonna be like one-off episodes on like little palace problems, because you get that. You get another episode about like, what are some example episodes that happen? Because I'm trying to think off the top of my head what you get in season 1 and why I think they're one episode ones. Because you get that. Yes, the very next one is you get you have the story about there are some soldiers outside, like somewhere else in the provinces, and they were eating food, and then they all started getting sick and dying, and they think that like, oh, the mayor of that city poisoned them, and then it was found out like Mao was like, hold on, no, they didn't. The mayor didn't do it. They were like, they burnt some bad plants in their like campfire that night, and that's what like got them poisoned. So again, little one-off thing. The Unsettling Matter of the Spirit, which was a great episode. That's a great 3-episode rule, worked really well in this as well, where the first episode, very solid, introduced you a lot of characters. Second episode, mostly just kind of like set up. The actual like mystery in that one kind of weak, but it's mostly like introducing you more to the Jinshi-sama in that part, which at the time, he's an F-boy, wasn't a huge fan of it. Now I'm starting to see where he can get a little bit better with, and I'm interested in seeing where his character goes, but that's for later in this discussion. But episode 3 is the one that sold me like fully. Was you have a completely unrelated concubine, whose name I don't remember. Does it have a name here? Also unrelated. Gaoshun, that's my go. I see Gaoshun's name in the summary I'm looking at right now. Fuyo. So you had Lady Fuyo, who was an unrelated concubine. She's not like one of the big 4, but she was like a solid one. You have Fuyo over here, who at night has been acting very strangely. There are rumors swelling about like a ghost in the inner palace, and it turns out it was Lady Fuyo dancing a spiritly dance, which Mao Mao attributes to being like, oh, she's sleepwalking. She's had a lot of stress. She's gonna be sold off. And so Mao Mao's like, yeah, that's what it is. That's not a ghost, it's Lady Fuyo. And then you find out that Lady Fuyo actually, she's not like sleepwalking. It's all part of a grand plan, a grand strategy, in order to make her seem less desirable to the Emperor. She's being sold off, but you know who she's being sold off to? She's being sold off to her childhood sweetheart, who lives back home, who's become an emperor, who's become like a general in the army. Adorable little story there. Like, it was a little like romantic little subplot. It had some good music, it had some good characterization in it. Fantastic, adorable. That was a great episode. That's what sold me on it. Wasn't Nukiashi, I have Monday Walk One In. But like, that was also just like a little one episode thing. And so you get like a lot of like one episode little like bits and pieces here. You get kind of a 1 to 2 part episode with Li Hao. I don't know if it was 1 or 2 parts, but like you get a little bit going on there. And then you get to the garden party, which was like basically the setup to everything else. And that's what I was like, ooh. Like, I didn't realize how far reaching that would be, even into now, I think. This is a Mystic. Happy a Monday, walk on in. We're talking Apothecary Diaries. We're talking Chinese hereditary politics right now. But like, every episode up until about that point was basically like a 1 episode, 1 done kind of thing with setup with Mao Mao and setup with Jinshi-sama. But then the garden party happens, and that's where you get like your big world building moments, right? Where Mao Mao, who is like a lady in waiting of Gokyo, who is now got the favor, I guess you could say, of Li Hao, because Mao Mao saved her life. Who's got the favor of Jinshi because Jinshi is using her to solve problems. She goes to the garden party. She solves a lot of issues. She gets a hairpin from all 3 of them, as well as from Lehawk, which we'll demonstrate with orange, sure. Which I know what you're saying. Isn't that a lot like Lehao? It is. I don't know if her name was Lehao. I'm gonna look that up real quick. Lehua. It's Lehua. Excuse me. Thank you, Wikipedia, for having these names. Lehua. There we go. Sadistic poison loving apothecary. Yes, it's fantastic. I love her. However, small tangent within a tangent here. I had originally read on the internet, in my, like, you know, surface level knowledge of this, I saw someone was like, why are her freckles fake? And I was like, what do you mean her freckles are fake? And then, like, I was watching the first few episodes, I was like, her freckles aren't fake. What was that? And then I was like thinking, during episode 5, I was thinking like, oh, maybe like that dude who was like upset that her freckles were fake was like just thinking like in the main show, in like the opening of the like the opening song, you see her like without freckles, and it's like, oh, that's her inner beauty coming out. And then that same episode, that's the garden party like setup episode, where they go to like wipe her face off to like get her ready to like put makeup on her, and her freckles come off, and it's like, actually no, I apply these freckles myself, and I was like, that's kind of stupid. I now fully understand that random person on the internet who was upset about that, because like I thought she was cuter with freckles, honestly. But I get it. Like, it makes sense in the story. They gave a reasoning why in the story that she puts freckles on. I just don't like it. Let girls have freckles. It's like Joker having fake glasses, right? It's the same principle there, where it's like Joker's glasses are just an aesthetic thing, which in part is probably because like, you know, Joker has like the mask on, and like, you know, there's parts where he's like getting beaten up, and so it's like, well, how can he see if he doesn't have the glasses? Well, they're fake glasses, right? But like the point stands where it's like, you could just have him have real glasses. Whatever. That's completely unrelated. I think Mao Mao should have freckles. What was I on? Oh yeah, she also gets a hairband from Lehawk. Which then, you know, the mystery that they have to solve at the garden party is who poisoned Lady Gyokyo, which, as we find out, they weren't poisoning Lady Gyokyo. They were actually poisoning the girl whose name is, let me actually look this up while I have this pulled up. The proxy war, Li Shu. That's what it was. Pulled for funsies, Zuma. Got Maruzinski. Nice! Congratulations, Mystic. Maruzinski is a very solid horse. I think she can also do dirt as well, so she's just like an all-arounder. I think she's like one of the current best horses in the game. At least like on launch, she was like if you're gonna pull for some, if you're gonna use your ticket for someone, get Maruzinski, was like what I was told. I didn't do that, but no, I did not mean to click on that. Product alert. Wait, what does this do? Paint will soon be moving to the Microsoft store. Don't worry, it will still be free to download once it moves over there. What? Not important. So, she gets a lot of hairpins. It sets up like someone was trying to poison Gyokyo, but it wasn't trying to poison Gyokyo, it was trying to poison Li Shu. And then like that sets in motion basically the arc for the rest of the first core, which is who did the poisoning and why. And so you have like this major multi-prong attack of like, okay, so someone tried to poison Gyokyo, who was actually trying to poison Li Shu. Who was it? Well, it would make sense if it was like someone from, like, was it Auto herself? No, it wasn't Auto herself. Go, Mao, go and infiltrate Auto's, go and infiltrate the Garnet Palace and see what's up there. And so they realize like, oh, Fangling is the one, like they're looking for someone with bandages on their arm. And so Fangling has bandages on her arm, and they have to like find out what the reasoning for it is, and you find out that the reasoning is because of the whole honey thing that I had talked about already. And just like the way that it unfolds over the course of multiple episodes, because during all of this, by the way, Mao ends up going back home through Lehaku over here. She goes to visit her dad, who's also an apothecary, who, as you find out later, also worked for the Emperor as the doctor, and he's the doctor that delivered Jinshi, as well as the unfortunate son of the Dowager and someone else who might be the Emperor, might be another man, but the son who Aodo did raise, who did end up dying because of Fangling's honey. Again, the lines that are connected here are very strange. And I think the added fact of Mao Mao's dad being the doctor in this situation, I thought that was a little extra for me. I thought that was going a little bit too far. I was like, she doesn't need to be someone. But that's fine. But during all of this like setup of like who done tried to do these poisonings here, Mao Mao goes home, visits her father, ends up getting in some like concubine business at the Verdigris house, right? Where there's or not at the Verdigris house. It's at a different pleasure house. I don't know what you would call it. At a different pleasure house, someone is poisoned, and a young girl tries to get help from an apothecary who she thinks is out, but Mama's actually there, and so it's a surprise, and then Mama goes and like saves the dude's life and the girl's life, which the young girl didn't want. No one else in the house wanted because they wanted that dude to die. But that's in a completely different episode, unrelated to anything else, but also a very good episode. It's good though. Effectively, what I'm saying is it surprised me how big this plot got, and also again, Aodo is my go. I think she's my favorite character in the show right now, but at the same time, she's only been in one episode, so I don't know much. So actual goat is Mao Mao, obviously, and I'm interested in where season 2 goes, because after Fengling, where core 2 goes, excuse me, because after Fengling gets let go, we'll say, after she's been executed because of her attempts to poison Li Shu, and they hide this from the fact because Mao Mao doesn't want Aoda to know, because she wants to save Fengling's face a little bit, I believe. Mao Mao ends up giving like the information to Jinshi about Fengling, so Fengling is executed mostly for just poisoning Li Shu, because the idea is that Fengling working for Aodo, not working for her, but like Fengling trying to do her best for Aodo, not actually under orders from Aodo, because Aodo is the goat. Fengling tried to poison Li Shu because she felt that Aodo might be threatened as the older concubine, and so was trying to poison Li Shu so that Aodo could keep her position safe, even though Aodo was already moving out at the time and was moving into the Outer Palace, which actually I'm just now realizing, if Aodo is in the Outer Palace and Mao Mao is now in the Outer Palace, they can like hang out together, and I'm looking forward to that. I want them to go drink on the rooftop again. That was great. I have to give up on my Persona 5 X gambling for a while. I've ran out of free currency to pull for Myron and Skull. Ooh. Marion, not Myron. Sorry. Are you trying to pull everyone, or is it you like Marion and Skull specifically, Dolly? Because I want to say the P5X has been out for a while in Japan, just like Uma and a lot of the other fighting gacha games have been, right? So you have like a sense of what the coming banners are. So I don't know if like you were going to be like playing to save for anything coming up, or if you knew. That's unfortunate about your gambling though. Hopefully you'll be able to get them back. Hopefully they go into like a pool, or they get rerun at some point. But that's core 1. Core 1 then ends with Mao Mao being fired because Mao Mao's captors, not her actual father, but her captors who were LARPing effectively as her family, had connections to Aodo's honey business / Fengling, right? So Mao Mao had to get fired from the palace, which Jinshi Sama technically could have not gotten her fired, but Jinshi was going through a little phase at the moment where he didn't understand what Mao Mao wanted, and Mao Mao couldn't say directly what she wanted because she is like, I'm a servant, I can't ask directly to stay because I think it's pathetic. And Jinchi is like, well, I don't want to push anything on Mao Mao. She doesn't want to be here after all, but Mao Mao did want to be there. So she got fired. She went back to the Verdigris house. Jinchi then bought out her time at the Verdigris house, and so Mao Mao is now, instead of being in the inner palace, instead of being in this cluster, which, woo, is this a cluster? Instead now she's working directly for Jinchi, which is interesting. Because just like the fact that I was like, oh, I thought it was gonna be like one-off episodes, and then it drops this big overarching plot on me, It's gonna do the same thing in Season 2, in Core 2, because at the end of the first episode of Core 2, at the end of episode 13, it literally has a villain shot. It literally shows a dude on a railing who's just sitting here like this with a damn... Does he have an eye patch? What is it? He's got a monocular. He's got a monocle. There's just a dude over here that has like a monocle. It zooms in on this shot of this dude, and it does like dun, 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 dun. It does like villain music, and you're like, what? Don't know anything about him. I think he's military adjacent, but like he just like is like, boom, there's now a villain in this show. There's a BBEG in the show for some reason, and I don't know what he's doing yet. But now there's an overarching like looming presence in the show that could be interesting. And I know the other reason I know he's a villain, he was playing Go. One of the introductory shots you get of him is him lying on a couch. He's like lying on a couch. This is a couch. And he's like lying like here with his like head in his hand. And he's like playing Go on his little Go board. And you're like, that dude's up to some stuff. Very, very interesting. Yeah, it's very like accurate to the time period, right? Current Emperor, fantastic taste. Aldo, my goat. Like Skull and Fox, and Marion might make the Chapter 2 boss easier, but I don't think it's going to happen, sadly. Oh, thank you, Nikashi. Good job, Spare Parts. Spare Parts was able to survive through this entire lecture on Chinese hierarchy. Now then. Where do we go from here? What have you guys been up to? Anything new happening with your gachas, with your life? I didn't think about what else to talk about. This was the majority of what I had to talk about, and I think we're effectively caught up. I don't know what's gonna happen from here outside of the fact that there is now a villain, and that like Mao Mao is in the outer palace instead of the inner palace, which could be very interesting. Seeing how she now interacts as not an equal, but as someone in a distinctly different position than before could be fun. And also, I think I said this earlier, I didn't like Jinchi in the first core a lot, mostly because he was very full of himself. He was very I call him F-boy or F-boy adjacent, right? But I think he's got a lot of potential in the second core with how he's interacting. I like Jinchi when he's been shown up on something effectively, or when he's more subdued, right? Which he gets with, like, when he's done drinking with Ao Do at the end of, episode 11, I want to say, the honey episode. Like, he's very sad boy hours, and it's like, oh, I kind of like him, I feel bad for him. When he's putting up his little act for the inner palace, that's when it's like, all right, fool yourself, get out of here. You have a character who lounges like he's gonna paint like one of the Emperor's concubines. For real. Like he was just fully lounging out. Very interesting show though. After this, season 2, and then after that I'm probably gonna tap into Uma, the anime, because I've heard nothing but good things about that. Especially about I've heard really, really good things about the Uma movie, the beginning of a new era, which has the goat Agnes Tachyon as one of like the main characters in it. That game is really fun, by the way. I talked about it a lot yesterday, but it was just super. It's just super refreshing to play a new idle game, right? And it's so nice to see people who have never like played an idle game, or who have never like experienced this kind of gameplay, like really getting into it. Because there's like a fair amount of number goes up, and there's just a fair amount of really good story building in it. So it's been really refreshing seeing like the game get accolades in the way that it has. It's super cool. Still have not done my daily race for it. For Uma, yeah. Like the way that it presented itself, the fact that like so many people are like about that was very, very nice. I'm so happy for it. Like seeing things like I think the Harura stuff is like I think a perfect example of it, of the people like effectively oceaning a character. It's really neat. You see my Agnes Tachyon? Was that the A rank you got? It was, yes. I did, your very first A rank, which I'm surprised that's your first A rank. Which makes me worried because like if you only now got your first A rank, I don't know when I'm gonna get my first A rank. That's worrying. I really like the P5X story, and the Phantom Idols are cool. The Phantom Idols? Just wish the Polaroids were better. The characters that I fully awakened like 6-ish times already. That's how my gosh has been going. Ooh. How does fully awakening in P5X work? Do you have to like just get copies of characters, but then like after that you just keep getting copies of characters and just not been great? Also, why are they called the Phantom Idols? You've immediately like hooked me in with that, but I don't know if that was like a mistype because I was talking about us at the time or not. I did. She has 1200 speed and she has D stamina, which is surprising because Agnes Tachyon is like a medium, isn't she? I guess she can be a mile as well. No, her things are medium and long. Yeah, wait a minute, hold on. I feel like a lot of that is I think Yuma carry. Oh wait, you were the E3 or Tachyon? Nice. Because I only obviously I now see with the profile picture as well, but like her skill name as well is different. I think that's a big part of it, is like having Gourmand, preferred position, straight to recovery. I'm surprised you don't get Swinging Master in there, but like you have a lot of recovery skills, which I think probably help out. That and also her whip being extremely high means you get to proc those a lot, which I think saves it. I was gonna say I thought she was like medium long because I was like she does or no, I said mile medium, my bad. But yeah, I've done her story. I think it's one of my favorites, honestly. Like that was the thing again, is that with Uma, shoutouts. I absolutely adore the story in it. And that's kind of what I was talking about when it was like very, very idly. It's because like a lot of their stories are just very like their personal struggles in order to like achieve their goals or to achieve their dreams, which resonates with me on a storytelling level. And I think Agnes is one of my favorites because Agnes has the very simple like oh, I'm your quirky little mad scientist character. I'm just doing my experiments or whatever like that, which is, it's fun, it's all good. But this entire time she's talking about plan A and plan B, and you're like, I don't know what that is, she's just doing her stuff. But then that's the little like surprise then, like in the later half of her story, she explains what plan A and plan B are, and it's that she wants to achieve like the peak performance of the Uma, right? The peak performance of the Uma body. And plan A is using herself to do that, and plan B is using a different horse to do that, a different Uma to do that, typically Manhattan Cafe. And the reason that she was originally thinking like plan B should be the way to go was because she says like, oh, I have weak legs, I don't think I'm that good at it. But because you as the trainer have been able to improve her to find the power within her, she then goes around to thinking like, actually trainer, I think we do with plan A there. And it's just like, it's such a simple little thing, but it has that connection of like, you have your Uma, you have their dreams, you have their passions, and that you, the trainer, have helped tease them out. And it's just a very very simple but very satisfying story to read. And I like that. That's why I like it in my idle games. That's why I like playing Idolmaster. Tokute's lore is quite nice for him. Yes, it's very I know a bit of the Tokaitea lore. I didn't delve too deep into it because I know that's like a big part of, I want to say season 2 of the anime, right? And it's just like, ooh. Like the ideas of like the people or Uma or horses like struggling, but then finally getting their victory, right? Everyone likes an underdog story. Everyone likes someone rooting for their best, which is why, again, Harura, for instance, the losingest horse of all time, not really, but like famous loser Harura, resonates with so many people because it's the idea of, like, I might not win, but I'm gonna keep trying. I'm gonna do my best, right? People like people who try. That Ganbaru. That's what the idol thing is to me. It's about giving your all. It's the spirit. It's the trying. It's those moments of the small build up, building and building and building on itself until they can finally like break free. It's great. Break free and show the world, and it's such a good little like classic story. Phantom Idols are persona users that don't technically exist. Phantom Idols are all characters the player will either form a social link with or encounter in the story's side stories. What characters the player will either form a social link with? So Wayne, when you say that, so cognitive forms of people the player character knows that they don't actually have a real persona in a way. Personas that don't technically exist. So is that just are Phantom Idols just all of the like not all of them, but like they're the new pullable characters in P5X, basically the idea? Or are all the pullable character like so obviously Skull, Inari, or Fox actually. Wait, what's his actual name? Is it Fox or Inari as his tag? I don't remember. Yusuke, right? Like those are all real people in Persona 5 that exist and are part of like the story. Joker is real, he exists, he's part of the story. Is like Wolf is not a character from P5X. He's a character from P5R. But like we'll make a new character called Jim, who's like a P5X character. And he only shows in P5X. You can pull him on the banner as like a 6-star or whatever the highest thing in that is. Is Jim a Phantom Idol then? Or is that just completely unrelated? Where some of the pullable characters are Phantom Idols and some are not? Out of the new pool of characters. People love underdogs. Exactly. Loves to do. I don't really know how I feel about season 3. I'm not done yet. Did you watch season 1? I forget Harmonica. Because I've heard mixed things about it. A big thing that I've also found out is like season 1 has a very different art style because it was like one of the first pieces of media. That's what it seems like. It's like I think I'm probably still gonna watch season 1 and it's gonna be fine, but it's definitely the weakest of the media because it's kind of like your introduction. It's the art style is a little bit less consistent compared to like what the finalized forms of everything are. But like season 2 and beyond is where it really like finds its footing and like pops off. Did Jim have a Persona Awakening become Phantom Thief? Okay. So can you pull characters that don't have Persona Awakenings? Because I thought it was like in. Here we can use this. So you have like what I think it's you have a 1, a 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It might not be that. It might just be till like that. But it might just be till like 5. But like down here is like the personas for the character, for like the player, right? These are like the those are like the collectible personas. That's where you can get like Lilith or Amaterasu, or I don't know the persona names, right? You get any of those little dudes. Little devils and demons, goblins and ghouls. You can get Jack Frost, you can get Jack-o'-lantern, you can get all those ones there. And then these ones are like the actual like the characters. This is where like presumably Fox and Skull, Joker, they're all like 6 stars, and these ones might be like weaker versions, like some of the anime original or game original ones might be. But I figured all of these things you could like pull were Persona users. So he's a Phantom Thief and a real Persona user. You get him by default, but you can still pull for Jim in the banners. If not, he's a Phantom Idol. get him by default, but can still pull for Jim in the banners. If you can get him by default, what is the idea that you only pull? I'm really interested in how that works then. Now he's a Phantom Idol. So Phantom Idols would be a little bit like, have a Phantom Awakening, become a Phantom Thief. So he's a Phantom Thief. A real persona user, you get it by default, it's a Phantom Idol. So like a Phantom Idol is like just a guest character, I guess is the best way to put it. Not really, but like it's, you don't see Akechi's Phantom Awakening, or Persona Awakening, technically. And Akechi was never a Phantom Thief, really? They're just like side people that are just like showing up and be like, hey, I'm over here, you can talk with me, but we can't really hang out that much. Okay, I think I vaguely understand. Nothing ever happens, I'm all in. 99% failure speed. Just not looked over at that. The P5X Velvet Room attendant explains better. Yeah, I don't doubt it. Since that probably has to like explain all the different like the collectible personas, the characters, the different ways they can set up the awakening, not awakenings, the social links, right? It probably has a lot to set up, which I think I've heard that that's the big thing. That's one of the things with P5X is that the first like it plays basically like Persona for the first like hour or so, because it has to go through like so much like setup and so much like introduction to like the lore of the world in a way, right? Like I remember I was watching someone stream it, and it was like that was the introduction where like they're on a train, they're just sitting on a train. There's the little like not Morgana character across from them. Dude on an Uber Eats bike like rams into the train. He gets scared. He bumps like the metaverse app on the phone. Ends up going to the metaverse, and like there's just like very much the same way that Persona 5, the original one, goes through like an hour or two of just like explaining mechanics, explaining the lore, explaining like oh, you're a Phantom Thief. Here's how you can like move around the palace and do this and this and this. The game itself, P5X also goes through a lot of like going through what the metaverse is and what like personas are and like setting all that up. Look, Newman channel. Potential level 2. Could have been double S rank Bakushin. Oh, practice perfect, charming, hot topic. Where'd you get charming and hot topic from? How early into the race are you? Good lord. Or into the career are you? That's good. Good luck, Harmonica. Breakout, get to top 500. It was before debut? What? Did you get the Take a Jab Lady event? Did you get the acupuncturist event? Which, by the way, I still think that's an insane event. Cannot believe it. I only rolled it one time and I failed it. Sad days. Sad, sad days. Do the bottom. Yeah. Well, if you do the bottom one, the bottom one is guaranteed. That is true. All the top ones are the ones where it's like anything could happen, right? Bottom is a 90% chance to give you charming. Really? Wait, really? I thought the bottom one was just the guaranteed, like, nothing bad's gonna happen, but we're gonna give you a little bit of, like, just, like, the modicum of, like, stuff. I have to go back and look at it. I wonder if it shouldn't be different for the horses, but, like... But for the acupuncturist, there were, like, 5 choices, by the way. So we might be thinking about different things. You must be talking about the whatever one that you were just doing. By the way, service group. Let's set up. I want to do let's start planning this out. I want to do a stream where we do, if you look around us right now, it's pretty solid, right? We got the wall, we got the nice little windows that you can see the stars in, right? But I want to spruce this place up a little bit. And I think my plan is either next Thursday or the following Thursday, I want to do a stream where we do a little bit higher quality content here, where we do some we design a new just chatting room together. And I don't know exactly how we want to do that. I have a few different ideas. We can either do something like I put up like a magma board, and it's just like, here, hold on. It would either be something like we set up a magma board and we do add source, not media source. What am I looking for? Window capture. There we go. We do something like, and then we move this down to, where did I just hide that at? Uh-oh. We could do something like, stop hiding that in things. Where is, almost, one more. Nope, why is that? Oh, it's behind the wallpaper, there we go. We could do something like this where it's, no, in front of the windows as well, hold on, right there. Okay, we could do something like we put on a magma board so it's a pure white background, and then have like you can like draw things, right? That's one option. That might be too insane of an option, especially because I don't think you would have enough space to really do anything here. But that was one idea that I like filtered past. An alternate one is we just make it so everyone has to like you get one piece of furniture. You can like call one piece of furniture, and then you can either like find a PNG or even not a PNG. And the idea is we'll just keep adding it in, basically like making a collage. And I think I like that one a little bit. Like making it so that you can like pull up like, oh, go to we'll use Arasatoya, the goat, for easy reference. It'll be like, I need a chair. Yeah, oh, that's actually not a bad idea. It's like service group, we need to add a chair. And then I ask for chairs, and then we put all the chairs on the screen. We vote for the best chair, and then that's the chair that gets added. Ooh, I like that idea. See, this is why I brought this up, so I could talk it out loud and think about it for myself. I kind of like that idea though, where it's like, what do we need? We find out what we need. We ask for suggestions. We get suggestions. We do some vague voting on it. Throw it in there, and we try to collage ourselves a new just chatting screen. Like, where is? I'm trying to find things on Arasatoya, but I'm not actually like looking that hard. Okay, hold on. Isu. Share. There we go. So it'd be like, Sursker, I need a share, and then it's like we drop. Hold on. Can we do? There we go. It's like, Sursker, I need a share, and then we drop this in. We could probably just use Photoshop, honestly. We drop this in, and we just go, boom. Share is now in the room. Done. That's like, oh, we need a window, and then we go over here. We go to like window. It's like, oh, Ace, don't worry, I got you. And then someone gives this, and boom. Now we have a window, but it's specifically a window of a dude window washing on the inside of it. I kind of like this idea. I think there's legs to this idea. And so the idea is at the end of the stream, boom, we'll have a bunch of, we'll have a brand new view of the hangar, effectively. I like it. I like it. We can do... Fix that. There we go. So look forward to that. I think we might end up doing that on... I'm leaning towards next Thursday. Talking about the pointy gal. Really? There's no know the odds for each one, just that it gets better rewards less likely as you go up the option. The way that I looked it up was, at least for Agnes Tachyons, there were 5 options. The first 4 were all the same, like, odds, effectively, but they gave you different things for each one you did. But then the very, very bottom one, that was, like, the 100% chance of getting, like, milk toast rewards. And fast learner? Don't mess this up, Harmonica. Somehow your Bakshi might end up, like, boxed in and, like, failing some races. Like you are setting up for one of the most horses of all time. All you gotta do is get to the finish line. I think that's what I got. That and like ideas for streams would be that, and I said this one before. This is one that I also want to do. I might do this next month or later in August, depending. Maybe September. At some point, I also want to do. We talked about this before. The other one I really want to do is do a Miku and Friends wiki deep dive. Just something where we can just go online. We open up the Vocaloid Wikipedia. And we just learn about the lore of Miku and Friends. Because, like, Kasane Teto's a chimera. No one knows who Neru is. Finding out all these little rabbit holes dotting the Vocaloid landscape, I think would be really interesting. I think first and foremost we do the room creation one. She'll never get boxed because she's smart and fast and cool. Well, it sounds like you got it in the bag. Just go box Sheena then. Which, by the way, I really like. If you ever get the Bakshin on the jukebox in Umusume, this is in case you didn't know. One of the things that Bakshin has in the bottom left, like whenever you go to the jukebox and you get you have the little like speech bubble that the characters have, and one of the ones that Bakshin can say there is listen to this and you gotta go Bakshin, what is it, 894 times. If you ever wonder why it's 894 specifically, it's the same reason the gold ship is 564. That's a little Japanese number play. Ba is 8 in Japanese number play, Ku is 9 in Japanese number play, and Shi is 4. Same thing with Gold Shi. If you ever see Gold Ship reference with 564, like in Grand Blue Fantasy vs. Rising, you can get her as a little companion, and that's 564 coins. That's because Go is 5, Ru is 6, and Shi is 4, so 564. So when I saw Bakshin talking about 894, I was like, why that number specifically? And then I like thought about it for a second. I was like, oh. So that's your fun fact for there. It took me a while to get that. But the reason it took me a while to get that was because I had listener requests off for like a little bit. And then I was like, why would I have this off? And then I flipped that back on like last week. And got it within a few days. We'd love for detective stories. Are ready for the Rin and Lin Kagamine songs. The riddle solver that can't solve riddles. The riddle solver that won't solve riddles. Really? The only... Ooh. Ooh. Okay, I'm interested in it. You sold me. The only ones I know from Rin and Lin are the ones that, oh god, are the ones from Hitoshizuku, like Vampire's Pathos. What's the other one besides Vampire's Pathos? Vampire's Pathos. Where is the Vocaloid database? There we go. None of these go to like an actual like thing that I want to. There's Vampire's Pathos, and there's another song that's technically the prequel to it, which actually came before Vampire's Pathos entirely, which was about Sister's Mercy. There it is. There it is. It's on the People Also Search For. There we go. Sister's Mercy and Vampire's Pathos are a Rin and a Lin song respectively. Sister's Mercy about a sister, like a Catholic Christian sister, going into a town, setting up a tea shop, and then it finds out, whoops, she might be evil. And then Vampire's Pathos is about Lin, and you see him as like this villainous guy, and you're like, oh, he's the vampire. And then like halfway through the song, it's like, oh, surprise, he's not the vampire. He's actually going after the sister from Sister's Mercy. She's the vampire. But like the people chasing after him don't know that he's the good guy at the end of the day. And so like until the very, very end, they're like trying to protect the sister, and they think like, oh, he's gonna attack her. But then like she actually attacks them, and then he like finishes her off, and it's like, ooh. He did that, and he also did Bad and Night, and he did what's the other one, which actually has like Lin and Rin in it, which is very it's based on Werewolf, right? The People Also Search For. I should just go to like their YouTube page, honestly. Enjoy your lurking. Scarlet Ivania. Got it. Bakshin's outfit is so cute. Man, do you have... Oh my god, how many... Have you just been pulling on nothing but horses, Harmonica? The fact that you have Bakshin and... You have Condors, which makes sense. Condor had the... You have Condors, which is easy because you have Condor's, like, legacy race. You have Tachyons. You have Uraras. You have Goldshis. You have Vodkas. It looks like you have Daiwas. You have Bakshins. How many horses have you pulled? Pulled a lot. I'm pretty happy now, though. I have pulls to hope for future cards. Do you have enough for Wednesday, you think? But no, Hito Zushiku did Sister's Mercy, Vampire's Pathos, which are a Len and Ren song. They also did... There it is, Mr. Scheinfreude. Mr. Scheinfreude, which is a... That's a Len and Ren song, mostly a Len song. Technically, it's an ensemble song with a bunch of different characters, because Miku's in there as well, along with 5 others that I do not know the names off the top of my head. But it's Werewolf, effectively, where you have 8 villagers. They all have their different roles, and like every night they go to bed and then someone dies, right? And at the end of it, it's oh, Lin was actually the werewolf all along, not the werewolf, like the assassin, the Reaper, whatever it is, but. I like because of them. I like Lin and Rin, specifically when they're doing the crazy stuff. Because that's honestly, I don't know why, but whenever I think about Vocaloid music, some of my favorite ones are the ones that have like really weird stories, typically involving like murder. It's just simple. It's just I don't know why it is. If it's just the culture of the Vocaloid songs made it so like we were making Vocaloid songs with stories, with murder, with things happening in it, or if it's just like those are just the ones that find their way to me or not. But like I love them. Absolutely my favorite things. Because you have those, and you have like your longer projects, right? Which when you make a project out of something, you usually make like a bigger story, and like that's inherently has a story associated with it. But you have like your your Kagero project, right? Which is the big one that got me into that one originally was Kagero Days, which is like that's about like the time loop. That's about like the young boy and young girl. The young girl gets killed. The boy wakes up, is like, oh my god, it's the next day again. I can go save her. Or it's the same day again. I'm repeating the same day again. I gotta go save her. And he fails over and over and over again. And then he finally succeeds one day. And then the girl wakes up and says, oh no, I failed again. Because then it's like, oh wow, this is messed up. They're in an endless loop. So I don't know what attracts Vocaloid typically specifically to those kind of things, but I like it. They're the stories that get me going. Currently, you have 2 3-stars from the guaranteed tickets. Oh, nice. You're on the same boat as I, Wisteria. Partially because I've been saving up for at least 1 copy of Kita-san Black. But then after that, yeah, I kind of want to. I think after I get Kita-san Black, I think I'm willing to just not whale, but like just spend on Uma as opposed to cards, just because I really want my 2 and 1 stars to look cool. Because after Kitasan Black, unless someone tells me like, Ace, you gotta save for this thing, it's the best thing ever. Unless someone tells me that, I can just like save up, like I can just spend whatever, and then eventually when I get closer I can save up for Air Shakur. Which I'm so happy we got to see an event with her yesterday. That was awesome. Shouts to Air Shakur. I can't wait till she gets implemented. Easily one of my favorites. Song's riddle has some hints that show up in one of the music videos for a singular frame. Wait, like, if I listen to the song, it's not self-contained. Is that what you're implying, Dolly? Like, it actually has a riddle that I can like go and then find out later on. I might need to mess with this. Hold on. I don't think I can do that as a stream thing, because I think the thing I want to do for the Wikipedia stream or the Wikidive stream is actually like literally just looking at the wiki and just doing that, not going down the actual songs themselves. But you have kind of sold me on this. The riddle solver that can't solve riddles, the riddle solver that won't solve riddles. Wrote both those down. Thank you. That's for me for later. Just got a carrot during the raffle. I thought Lady Luck was finally going to give me a spot ticket. Have you still not gotten the spot ticket either? It's messed up, right? And then I found out yesterday as well that even if you get the spot ticket, you then have to win the URA final, or else it doesn't matter. It's only the 2 music videos, actually. Nice. Good. It's like Sisters Pathos, Vampires, Sisters Mercy, Vampires Pathos then. Where to get your nice little duology. In and out. And I think, I don't know if it is, but I like that as well, because the idea of a duology where it's only 2 things and you have the riddle solver that can't solve riddles and the riddle solver that won't solve riddles is that I think, even though this may or may not be how it actually works out, in my head I immediately have the idea of you see the same story from 2 different points of view. And I hope it's that. I always like those. Whether it's like a song or a movie or any piece of media where it's like you see a set of events one way and then you get to go back and watch it through another lens. A lot of very good movies like that. Spoilers for media, but big shout outs. Highly recommend go check out Shutter Island. That's a very good story. That's one that has the same thing where it's like you watch it, and it's like one POV, and then you get to go again and you have another POV, and it's like, ooh, hold on, this recontextualizes everything that I've seen. I'm gonna say for Winter Oguri and Narita Bryan. Ooh, Narita Bryan's nice actually. I like her a lot because I think she's a really, really good card in Shadowverse. And I think I need to like see her more to like have her sold on me, I think. I think if I got Narita Bryan, I'd be very happy with it, but I don't think I'm like aiming for her 100% on her own myself. But I definitely respect that. I didn't know here's the thing that I didn't realize until very recently is that there are alts in Uma Musume. This game has been out for like 5 years in Japan, and I legit did not think that they had alts. Like, I had seen like art of the characters in like different outfits, but I was like, oh. Like, it's just a person doing it, like maybe that showed up in like an event or something like that. But I just thought like it was always just the one character, and like maybe you could get like outfits for them or something like that. But I didn't think they were like alts you had to like roll for. So learning that recently was like kind of a shock to me. Winter Oguri came out... Wait, what? Release date question mark? She not out yet? No, she clearly is out. Why does that say question mark there? So there's more to the riddle, but the last I ever heard about it was that those 2 songs were the only important parts of the riddle needed to solve it. So there's more than that? I'm gonna do a small bit of Googling right now. Bit of a flashbang. I heard the Riddle Solver song series just as I was waking up. Good morning, Boba. I think you missed the, if you had fallen asleep at the beginning of the stream, I think you missed the entirety of the Apothecary Diaries, spiel we were doing. Pass this as a click to the stream. Good morning. I'm sorry you missed that then. It was very good. As a quick, recap, I am now in Core 2. Mao Mao is now working for Jinchi in the outer court? That's right, that sounds right. I know when Narita Bryant comes out, but I've heard Winter Agree is a year 1. It's weird that it doesn't have a release date on this page I'm looking at then. I feel like Narita Bryant is actually coming out very soon, because I think Narita Bryant is also a year 1. Like, I'm pretty sure Narita Bryant is before, what's her name? Best Girl. Oh, I'm on server global. That's why it said question mark for release date for oh, there we go. Okay, now I'm looking at Game Tour. Now I'm looking at Game Tour Japan. Yeah, Narita Bryant came out. So the game came out February of 2021. Narita Bryant came out May of 2021. But they're going on an accelerated pace, right? Narita Bryant is 3 banners after Kuren-chan, and Kuren-chan is coming out at the end of the month. So Narita Bryant is probably going to be like late next month, maybe mid next month. Can I ask you to finish the first season? Haven't finished the first season because I was out of town over the weekend. So all I was able to get to was to start Core 2 effectively, which was really good. I was surprised at the big how big the poisoning plot from like the Gyokyo Lishu Aldo, that poisoning plot. I was surprised how deep that went, and I was excited for that. Like I was very like happy that there was like a larger plot going on. And so in Core 2, that's when they introduce the big bad guy who has like the monocle or whatever it is, and like he gets introduced with like dun 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 like evil music. I was like, okay, they haven't really introduced this one yet, but like they're setting something up. Yeah, which I had an entire I was trying to link speaking of linking this Ghetto Boba, I pulled up Paint and I was like trying to find out how things link together, because I was like trying to find out like where does Jinchi come from, and like even though it explained where Jinchi came from, I still like map it out because I was like very confused. Like the inner workings of Chinese imperial politics are insane. Is basically what we came to a conclusion on. Not gonna lie, I got lucky with the character banners. Getting Team Opera Owen, Mihono Bourbon 20 pulls each. Tokateo on the standard banner and the single 10 pull. Maserati on a whim. Bryce Shower using the voucher. But what about, sounds like you don't have Biwa Hayahide then. I was lucky to get her in a 10 pull. I mostly just wanted that for more dupes, and I was really lucky to get that. I don't know if I'm sad that I missed. I also got Mihono Bourbon like a 10 pull, I think. Or no, I got her on the dailies, because she had a daily banner. I think. Yeah? Maybe. I have both of those. I'm missing Team Opera, which is a little bit unfortunate, but they added the standard banner back, which I'm glad at. Which I don't know how you can just mess up and not have the standard banner like in the game, but that's a whole other issue. Because whenever they removed that, like that was apparently a bug, they removed the standard banner. I was like, I just thought there was no standard banner and you always had to roll on whatever the rate up banner was. And so when they added that back, I was like, oh, that makes a lot of sense actually. Oh yeah, I had the Riddle Solver pulled up in another tab, and then I like started looking at Uma. My bad. The Riddle Solver who can't solve riddles, also known as Nazo Toki Nazo Kake. Series of songs by Hinata Haru Hana, featuring Rin and Lin. I don't want to read the AI description for that. Go to the Vocaloid wiki. There is Nazotoki and Nazokake, and there's also Boku ni Piano Hikasete. Let me play the piano. Yuki ga Furu, Snow is Falling, and Sa Dochi, Now Which? but the main ones are the two. How old is this? 2010. See, that's why I think it's also gonna be a good stream when we do this, because like, I didn't know this. There's like such a big iceberg, the entire like Vocaloid music iceberg, and I don't think I've ever actually gotten past layer like 2, if even. I don't even know if I'm underwater in the Vocaloid iceberg. As I found out, I don't think I am. I got my little crack in there with Kage Pro, and that's it. Because I know that, and I know Simbo and Zakura. So we're probably gonna do that, our little wiki deep dive, sometime next month. We're gonna do our room building stream probably next week or the week after. Anything else we want to like think about, want to set up? Or we're gonna be doing Zomboid this Thursday. I'm excited for that. I mentioned this last night, but like, I really enjoy playing Zomboid. I like the new update a lot. And I was thinking back, I feel bad that I killed a Steelfall at the end of the first stream we did in the new patch, but I was like, we got our goal, and I was like, I don't know. I was like, it felt right that he dies here. Like we built an entire story for this man. But now it's like, now that I've done that, I was like, shouldn't have done that, Ace. You should have like kept him alive, and then you could like keep playing, because that character was actually kind of goated. Because like, even though I kind of destroyed the car a little bit, finding that car was insane luck. So we're going to be starting a new character on Thursday to like play through that, actually have a character that like lives and we can like go back to every so often. Love the Real Solver series. I used to listen to it a lot in middle school. Ooh. But it's only the 2 songs, right? That's a good sign. The little like songs that like stick with you when you're like growing up in middle school, high school, college, any of that. That's what Kage Pro is to me, effectively. I listened to that in college for the first time, and that just fully attached itself to me. Watching, it was specifically, the thing that got me with Kage Pro was, I think I had heard about it because they were making an anime for it, which, as we later found out, was not good. But at the time it was unknown, like if it would be good or not, but I was excited about it. Everyone was hyping it up. And so to explain the hype, someone had posted the Nico Nico orchestra? I don't think it's the right word. A Nico Nico like video of like 20 plus people singing Kagero Days together. And so it had that along with like the music video of it, which is, you know, the boy and the girl in their endless cycle of dying for one another, effectively. And so listening to that and watching that video done made me tear up. It resonated with me a lot. Young little like 19-year-old Ace. And so from that I went and like searched everything I could on it. Listened to all of it. I have both. I don't know, there might be more than 2 at this point. There are probably other ones, but I have 2 of the Kagero Days CDs. I ended up reading like the manga all the way up until where it was like translated at the time. I think it might be dropped entirely. Like not even just the translation, but I think the manga itself I think is dropped entirely. But like it was the manga that went into like a really deep part at. They did like a flashback that lasted for a really long time, and I actually really liked the flashback where it goes back to when Imi is still alive. Or Ini is still alive. Inimoto Takane? That sounds right. Where Inimoto Takane is still alive. Where Snake Boy is still alive and not a Snake Boy. Where like everyone's having their little like happy time in school. Before all the bad happens. And like the manga stuck with that for like a really long time, and I was like, it was so just nice to read. Things can stick with you. One thing about Uma is the amount of carrots to pull is a lot lower than some gachas. 30 carats from Tiny Quest doesn't feel like much whenever it's like 120 a random. Wait. It costs 6,000 to pull. In... Oh, wait. I see what you're saying. So, like, 1,500 carats is a 10 pull. Divide that by 30. You need 50 of those little quests, and you can get a 10 pull. 6,000 to random divided by 120. That's 50 as well. I see what you're saying. How much random do you normally get in stuff for Arknights dailies? Daily missions. You get 100 per daily stuff. Oh, but that's the thing, is that you only really get it from dailies and from weeklies. There's not like a bunch of like little small missions that you can get it from in Arknights. Typically, on average, just from daily missions and weekly missions, you're getting what, 700 plus 500 is 1,200. You're getting about 1,200 per week, which is a fifth of a 10 pull per week just from that. Obviously, you can also then do your expeditions. That's not what they're called. You can do your 400 enemy missions, and you can get a bunch from that as well. But yeah, the fact that Uma has like a bunch of different like small tiny quests that you can like build up and keep doing is kind of nice. Plus, for the most part, it seems like a lot of the stuff wraps back to that as a resource. Because I think Arknights has a lot of different resources, and Uma, I don't think it has as many. Uma has like, it's mostly like banners is the main thing. Like getting winning sashes is important for like getting potentials, but at its core, it's like you pull your character with the carrots, you pull your cards with the carrots, and then like you have your money and your, actually, wow, there are a lot, because you have carrots for pulling both things, you have money for upgrading, of the support card things for upgrading as well, and then you have shoes for each different horse, each different type of horse, and you have the banners, which you can get from races and then from all the different shops. In Arknights, you have money and battle records for upgrading, so that's money, and the support cards are very similar in that respect, so it's a one-to-one. But then, yeah, Arknights has all different kinds of materials, but that's not dissimilar from, like, the shoes and such. I think like 3 more songs in the Real Silver Series. Yeah, I think those are the ones that I pulled up on the wiki a second ago. But 2 of them are backstory, and the last one just gives extra context that doesn't change the riddle itself much. Got it. Yeah, I'll probably listen to that sometime over the course of the next week. Since I kind of like it. I like the idea of it. Kind of sold me on a little bit. What's your boxing look like? You got to air... Wait, are you done? Oh, you're a finals champion. Okay, yeah, you're done. I didn't realize you finished it so quick. I forgot how quick you can do a career mode if you're just like, if it's career mode you've already done before. Just jam it out. Finals champion, A rank boxing, 1200 speed, 317 stamina, 910 wit. Very nice. So you didn't go for a little bit higher power, honestly. But like, yeah, getting the wit to get everything to pop. I'm also surprised you get to level 5, but... Oh, wait, you can't get to level 5 unless you have a 4-star boxing, could you? Because you start at level... If you have a 3-star boxing, you start at level 1, and then you get to level 2, 3, 4 out of the events. Yeah, that tracks. Tail held high with all... I know what tail held high is. Tail held high is like you get a bonus if you activate a lot of skills. You have a lot of skills in that as well, so that's almost always proccing, which is nice. Runner savvy, firm conditions, good. Sky high Teo step, very nice. Straight acceleration, unrestrained, sprinting gear. Subdued and flustered front runners. Huge lead, Moxie, shake it out. Nice. It's like really good boxing. And allegedly you can also do really good mile and pacing too. Your stamina is not great, but in mile I don't think you need that much stamina. You might be able to pull it out. Cool. Now here's the big thing though, Harmonica. What are your sparks? I'm looking at that and I'm just imagining you get a 1-star spark for like Mile and a 1-star spark for like Turf. Yep, it's Guts. There we go. Wah, wah. Yeah. Messing with a credit card, by the way. I probably shouldn't, but just on my desk right now. Keep dropping it. Got a 3-star Turf Spark on a C run a few days ago. Good lord. Apparently there's like QL stuff to help like sparking later on. Or like getting this, I don't know what it does, but I heard there's like QL stuff later down the line in JP that like makes getting sparks easier, like managing them easier, which interested in that. Because right now sparking is like, it's a very important part of the game, but it's the part I care the very least about because it's just about like RNG for completing a run at this point, and I'm not even close to like getting enough characters that I can care about that yet. But it's such a, it seems like it's such a struggle right now. Well, hello, service crew. Anything else? We're at our mark, I think. By the time we wrap. Let's go to any other important matters. I think it was touched on the main things that I wanted to chat about. Shout outs again to Apothecary Diaries. Shout outs to Mau Mau, my goat. Absolutely love that cat. I love the way it's drawn too. It does a really good job. Animation is very solid. It's nothing too powerful. It's nothing like super far out there, but like it hits every single point it needs to. It's very cutely done. Big fan of it. Sprinters are all skill monkeys. Good lord. Thank you for stream. Anytime, Dolly. Thank you guys for coming on out. So here, I'm going to send y'all over to. Is it live? Should be good. So let's wrap up the day. Tomorrow we're going to be playing some more Arknights. We're going to be working on Chapter 14, getting closer to the end of that. Well, not getting close to the end of Chapter 14. Getting close to the end of the main story, though. Should be fun. We're only just starting Chapter 14. On Thursday, we're doing Project Zomboid. Come check it out. We're going to start a new character, which will not die for content this time at the very end. They will survive. And then on Sunday, it's finally back, Blueprints. I was kind of sad that I was out for most of the day on, like, Sunday. So I got back and we did a small one, but, like, oh my god, I need to finish Blueprints. That thing is so goated. And I have, like, hints from, like, Ryer now, because I popped into history at one point. We rated him, right? And it was he was, like, talking about, like, a thing that he was doing. He was like, hold on. I shouldn't know that, but now I have ideas. And I want to find out how, like, I can connect to that. And I think part of it is that it's related to the key that I need to get from there. Because I know there was, like, a hint that there was, like, a Sanctum key in there. So, ooh. Nice! Wit Spark is much better than a Gut Spark, especially if it's a better than like a 2 or 3, because she has a lot of wit there. So you can easily get a 3-star Spark depending, but hopefully it is. 2-star? 2-star is really solid. I like it. Wish it was a 3-star, but 3-star is like a 20% chance of that, so again, Sparks are kind of lame the way they're implemented right now. IMO, because it's just luck for the most part. No, but Source Group, with that, look forward to the rest of the week. Don't know anything else. I'm going to send you guys over to Keitaro channel. Currently also doing a Zatsu. They're back talking about Anime Expo. Go check them out. They're a very cool guy. Set it up. Doing an Air Groove career at the moment. Air Groove was really good. Air Groove was like the second best Uma I've done so far. She's been like rushed or late start every run. Ah, that is unfortunate. My Air Groove was just built different. My Air Groove was insane. Still win most of them though. Okay, never mind. Take it back. Maybe that's why, you know how yesterday I was talking about like rushed and late start do nothing? Maybe that's why, because Air Groove was just insane. And she just was better than that. Because she's the Empress with Siri, she keeps her cool, right? No, but go check out Keitaro, very cool guy. But with that, I know nothing else, so thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to catch you next time. Peace out, everyone. And see you there. 3, 2, 1. Go say hi.